We are less than 2 weeks away from DELCO Championships, and there's still no clear favorite on either the boys or the girls side. This week, Belmont Plateau's Briarwood Invitational gave us grit, history, and breakout performances from Marple Newtown, Springfield, and Strath Haven. Meanwhile, the girls of Agnes Irwin dominated the Cougar 5K in Exton, and Interboro made its case in the DelVal. Join me for a full breakdown of every DELCO runner and team performance as we look ahead to league meets and invitationals before the big showdown on September 27th. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the DELCO Cross Country Podcast. With you as always, my name is Kevin Key, and I'm breaking down everything when it comes to Delaware County Cross Country this fall. The calendar, it keeps turning. We are 2 weeks away from DELCO Championships on September 27th, and we still really don't have a real favorite to win on either end, the boys or the girls. With DELCOs in September, this means that anything can happen. Speaking about anything can happen, this past weekend we had two different events. This is a weekend I've always had circled on my calendar as an athlete as well as a head coach. It's the weekend of the Briarwood Invitational. This was always the meet to show who you were as a team, fighting to the end against ranked teams in the nation, being able to find out how strong your varsity, JV, and freshmen were, as well as being able to get a strong 5K race in to change where the rankings were in the state of Pennsylvania on what is considered to be one of the toughest courses in the state of Pennsylvania, Belmont Plateau. Home of Parachute and Suicide Hills, not to mention the dreaded Flagpole Hill as you exit the woods. This is a course where the toughest of runners bend to their will and see how strong they really are. To say I was excited to see what teams from DELCO would do on a course that I not only loved to coach on, but I also loved to race on. The one with so much history, the one where my personal best performance was, is an understatement. Briarwood may now just be another race on the calendar, but with no real competition to go up against it, it was the race this weekend. The girls of DELCO seem to be in different areas throughout this week. So let's break this down. Marple and Springfield, they decided to put up a fight within the varsity race, while Strath Haven decided to give some of their varsity this weekend off and put a focus more on a youth movement within the freshman race. Let's start with Marple Newtown. The Tigers, they showed that they're not rebuilding, they're reloading. Despite graduating Lizzie Getz and Allie Pavone, Marple proved they belong in the conversation. Sloan Smith was sensational. Try to say that 5 times fast. Finishing second overall in 1939. Sloan Smith is truly opening the eyes of DELCO coaches as well as this podcaster. Avery DeCecco, she backed her up with a 9th place finish at 20:55. And then came their pack. Jonica Wark, Brooke Davis, and Julia Lee finishing 30th, 31st, and 33rd. The tight group helped them lock down a strong 4th place finish on one of the state's toughest courses. The top 2 with the pack of 3 will be key, pun intended, as we get closer to championship season. This is the reason why they are also the newest entry in the Central League rankings, which I released on Instagram a week ago. As for Springfield, the Cougars, they're kind of in that rebuild, retool mode, but they fought for a 9th place finish. Lizzie Angelopoulos, she led the way at 37th, with Kara Nielsen in 43rd. Campbell Baxter, 61st. Campbell, a great listener to the podcast, great follower on Instagram as well. Brooke Bruchelle, 68th, and Maggie Ridpath, 77th. These are the races that build experience, and they'll need every bit of it when it comes to championship season. And I'm pretty excited to see what Springfield can do within those next 2 weeks, as they're the ones racing 5Ks. They're the ones building those strengths, and that strength's going to matter come September 27th. Strath Haven, they took a different approach. They rested their varsity, they focused on their youth, and it paid off. They had a freshman race in which Strath Haven finished, pretty much dominated the 3K. They finished first overall with Kayla Gaffney, their number one runner, who dominated the 3K in 11:56. Behind her was Avery Folk, Eleanor Roberts, and Emma Noon. They swept 4th through 6th, with Anaya Zhao grabbing 9th overall. They crushed Paul VI and showed that the Panthers pipeline is alive and well. I'm going to shift to the boys for a minute now. I had in Marple Newtown, Julian Bothma was the top DELCO finisher at Briarwood Invitational. He finished 11th overall. He ran a season best of 17:08 on those Belmont hills. That's a huge effort as he was backed up by Cole Wozniak in 33rd and Jacob Albanese, who PR'd for 35th. Garrett Hager ran 19 flat as their fourth man, and Cole Broomall, yes, he's from Broomall, closed it out as their fifth scorer with a season best time. The depth gave Marple a 7th place team finish, which was very solid work for them. Springfield, their top man, that was Chris Carty. Commonly their top man, to be honest with you. Chris finished 17th overall with a season best of 17:33. Liam Harris Iveson was their second, also dropping a season best. Then came Dennis Wickstrom, Sean Brady, and Samuel Kubiak to round out their top 5. Springfield continues to grind and improve as a unit. One of the things I also want to tell you is that Briarwood apparently wasn't the only action this weekend. There was action that was called a Cougar 5K in Exton. And I'm going to be honest, results were tough to track down. I couldn't even get them on MileSplit. Like, I went on to MileSplit, they said the results were there, and nothing showed up. So I had to, Google search, really dive into this one, and actually score the girls' team race throughout it. And it actually was pretty easy to score because one thing was pretty clear in Exton over the weekend, and that is the Agnes Irwin girls absolutely dominated. They didn't even have one of their top runners, Emma Watson, and they scored a perfect 15 points, going 1st through 5th overall. Sophia Casey took the win at 20:48. She was followed closely by Avery Brennan at 20:56. Margaret Dooley, she stepped up with a 22:12. Grace Vaucklin went 22:35. And Wynn Hastings finishing off for the win again, 22:36. That's a team effort right there. And to top everything off, Braxton Ross Lewis, she finished 7th overall at 22:56, putting 6 Owls in the top 7 overall. That's depth, dominance, and discipline, and that's Agnes Irwin so far this fall. On the boys' side of the Cougar 5K, it looked like Interboro may have grabbed the win. Like I said, it's hard to break this one down because it was really hard to find the different results. Their scoring 5 went 4th, 9th, 11th, 12th, and 19th overall. Brenton Newsom was their top man. He ran 19:07. He was followed by Jonathan McCloskey, Ryan Rossiter, John Suplo, and Christopher Lutz. The Bucks are serious about shaking up DelVal and keeping their rivalry with Penwood hot. So what's next? What's ahead? Clearly we have some league meets going on. We have Central League meets. We have Interac, I think, this week. I don't think BAL races again until next week. We have the Philadelphia Catholic League. I believe we have the DelVal meet. All of this could potentially give you some revealing strategies right before DELCO Championships. Like I said, we're about 2 weeks away, so our focus this week is another 5K, one right before DELCOs. We've got some big invitationals next weekend on the 20th of September. We have the Foundation Invitational in Hershey. So far from what I saw there, it was Garnet Valley, Haverford, and Radnor. I'm actually really interested in watching this race, specifically matching up Haverford versus Lower Merion on the boys' end. It should be an interesting matchup. Those teams are pretty similar. I think Haverford has a little bit more depth, but I'd be interested to see how Haverford and Lower Merion really match up within that race as as we race in Central Leagues. We don't actually some teams take different strategies at Central League meets, so it'll be interesting to see what they do as they really top off their best performances on a difficult course. Hershey's a tough course. I never raced it personally, But as a coach there, it's definitely hard for the spectator, definitely hard for the athlete. It is a tougher course with Aloha Hills thrown right in the middle. It'd be interesting to see what Garnet Valley, Haverford, and Radnor do at this meet. At the George School Invitational, there are teams that are registered. I don't know if Haverford is actually running this one because I saw them entered in the Foundation Invitational. George School Invitational this weekend has the Academy of Notre Dame, Episcopal Academy. Haverford is entered, but like I said, I don't know if they're racing because I saw girls and boys entered in Foundation, as well as the team from Pencrest. So I'll be interested to see what Notre Dame does because they're a team that's kind of like sliding under the radar right now. They're the team for the past couple years that pull off a top 3 finish at DELCOs because they slide under that radar. They slide under that radar. They slide under that radar. And once DELCOs hits, boom, they're right there. They're right in the running. They're right in the race. I'm excited to see what they do. I still don't have 5K times for this team yet. So I'm excited to watch what they do. I'm excited to see what Pencrest does with Caitlin Crumlish and Cassidy Jones. I did not fail to mention Cassidy Jones. That's an inside joke for those who aren't paying attention the past couple of weeks. But I did not fail to mention. And then, of course, you have Episcopal teams. So I don't know if it's the boys or the girls from Episcopal. Once again, that should be an exciting race to watch and pay attention to because I know the Episcopal teams, both boys and girls, are very hungry. When it comes to the next race this weekend, the race I'm going to be at, the race I'm pulling double duty at, that is the Whippets Invitational in Downingtown. I'll be on site covering Agnes Irwin, Cardinal O'Hara, Chichester, Marple Newtown, Ridley, Strath Haven, Sun Valley, Haverford School for Boys, and Upper Darby. And not to mention that Montco School, the girls of Lower Merion, the team that I'm there to cheer on specifically throughout that race and coach up during that race. I'm excited to be there, pulling double duty, watching a lot of these teams that I've grown close to over the years. Hopefully, I will be able to grab some post-race interviews and really capture the energy at the Whippets Invitational. Like I said, we are less than 2 weeks away from DELCO Championships. Buckle up, DELCO. With less than 2 weeks, you got those storylines building. And as I said in the beginning of the episode, this season, DELCO Championships is wide open. So be prepared for anything on September 27th. I plan to be there on the course. Obviously, I do not have any dogs in the race, as Lower Merion is in Montgomery County, not Delaware County. So I'll be there cheering on DELCO teams, hopefully grabbing some interviews, as long as clearly my wife, who's walking upstairs, as you can hear her walking upstairs, as long as my wife agrees to let me head to DELCO Championships. I'll probably just show up anyway. Don't tell her. I'm watching you. Don't let her know. All right? As for now, this week's rankings, this was a little difficult. We are in week 2 of the cross-country season, and we're still looking for teams to race 5Ks. So right now, this is an eye test more than anything for me to see where we are in Delaware County and where the rankings are. Now, my top 5 after week 1, and I'm pretty much sticking with it right now until things change. So I released this information on Instagram the other day. I believe I released this right after the league meets on Wednesday. My top 5 last week, they're going to remain the same this week right now. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to tell you what. Marple Newtown's knocking on the door on the girls' end. You got to watch out for the team from Marple Newtown. They had a great race this weekend. The only reason why I have them ranked ahead of Strath Haven right now, especially after the league meets, is that Marple Newtown beat them straight up 2 weeks ago. So if they could beat them straight up 2 weeks ago, Marple Newtown right now I have favored over Strath Haven. I think both teams have the ability to finish top 5 at DELCOs on September 27th. But right now, I don't have either of them in my top 5 rankings on the girls' end or on the boys' end. My rankings are going to stay pretty much the same, although I can see teams moving up. Like Strath Haven boys right now, to me, they're moving up. I could see them moving into the top 3, if not the top 2, by the end of next week, by the end of league meets, by the end of Foundation and George School Invite and the Whippets Invitational. These rankings are going to be shook up, I think, after league meets this week. So right now, number 5 on the boys' end, I have the team from Ridley. Number 4, I have the team from Strath Haven, but like I said, I could see them moving up pretty quickly. Number 3, I have the team from Episcopal. Number 2, I still have Pencrest right there. And number 1, I have the team from Haverford. Still on the boys' end, I think Haverford's going to be tough to beat. They're my favorite right now. However, like I said, the door's wide open at DELCOs. So we'll see what happens. Top 5 week after week 1 of the girls. Like I said, I could see Marple Newtown or Strath Haven really sneaking in here. But number 5, I have Episcopal. The girls from Episcopal are being led by Kendra Williamson. They did not have the best performance at the Unionville 2-mile bash. But they're also missing the number 2 girl in that race, in Ava Kavanaugh. And I know Hannah Todd is right there, ready to go. I know this team is hungry to finish within the top 5, maybe even the top 3 at DELCOs. Number 4, you have Garnet Valley. Avery Lesgarden just looks tremendous. I saw her at Unionville. I saw her at the Central League meet the other day, while she finished second at the Central League meet last Wednesday. To Caitlin Anderson, who I'm going to publicly apologize to on the podcast in a little bit. Garnet Valley looks strong. They definitely look like a team that is hungry for even more each and every week. Number 3 right now, I still have the team from Haverford. They are the defending state champions. They are defending DELCO champions. We have to respect that. Ryan Dankin is running well still. So you gotta respect this team from Haverford as they continue to build up within their time. And like I said, number 2, I have the team from Radnor still there. You got Caitlin Anderson, who ran tremendous at the Central League meet the other day, winning that race. Coco Connor is still on this team as well, who I confused Caitlin for in that race. So public apology on mile 2. I called Caitlin Coco while I was cheering them on. In reality, I was trying to support my Lower Marion girls. Got a little confused on mile 2 and called Caitlin by Coco, which, hey, you're on the same team, so it could have been worse. Could have been much worse. So, Radnor right now I have number 2. And number 1, I have Agnes Irwin still. They dominated at Abington with a victory there. I don't know what this Exton Cougar 5K thing is, but they went 1 through 5. They had 6 of the top 7, and they were even missing Emma Watson in that race. Agnes Irwin is still number 1 in my mind and on my rankings. I also posted rankings for league meets. It's league rankings. I'm going to try to get those out each and every week. Check those out. They're on my Instagram at DelcoXCPod. Please check out any rankings there. DELCO rankings, league rankings. At one point, hopefully, I'll be able to get District 1, Single A, Double A, Triple A, District 12, Single A, Double A, Triple A rankings to you. But like I said, we need more 5Ks under our legs before these rankings really even matter. So please make sure you follow DELCO XC Pod on Instagram and Twitter, and make sure you send me an email. Send me your team chant before a race so I could play that instead of this royalty-free music introducing the podcast each week. Please feel free to send that out. All right. As for now, that is it for this weekend in Delaware County cross country. That's it for this week's DELCO XC podcast. So thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, you share with your friends, you stay locked in as we get closer and closer to DELCO. Until next time, keep moving, keep grinding, get up those hills, and move. I will see you on the course.